guys, this is BC Builds showing you the final product on my two Unimax machines, which are first gen, the original Unimax machines, Unimax Apollo and then Unimax Star. These are first gen with almost all original parts on it. The only things I really changed up on these that needed new badly was armature bars, springs, and contact screws. Everything else is original, besides the coil wrap. The coils are original. And obviously the RCA and the phono adapter. But I do have the rest of the original parts that I'll send with them if you guys want to put back on, except for the coil wraps. This actually has the original coil wrap underneath the red. I just put red shrink wrap to protect it. This one does not have the original coil wraps. They were just falling off. These are pretty old. They are numbered on the inside of the frame, I guess on the back saddle post. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. They do have the original markings, the stampings on the front. First off, I'll show you. This is which one? This is the Unimax Star or Apollo. Sorry, the chrome shader. And for the first gen, apparently, they didn't make very many chrome ones when these first came out. Most of them were black, like the Star. So this is a little more rare. It's not like it's super rare. It was still, I guess, mass produced. The frames, I'm not sure. I think the first generation was made in the U.S. before they started making them overseas. The frame, the geometries, everything's correct. All the bends are correct. Everything's nice. It's a two-piece frame. You can see it's like a big U. That is one part. This and this, and you can see it goes down in. Just look up Unimax frames. And then this piece is separate right here, the big rectangle base plate, which is awesome. This is super thick. It actually eats all the vibrations without making it too heavy. The tube vise is actually two pieces. You can see this right here. I can move it around. That'll actually come out if I take the contact screw out. You see it fits in like a puzzle piece. The importance of that is it makes it super easy to put tubes in. No longer, you know, wedging them in with the typical pinch vise. The big circle thumb screw, which is original. Both of them have them, the original ones. They still make them on all the machines today. It's super awesome. Tighten the machine super quickly. Both of them have 10 wrap coils. Both the original coils. I'm not sure. These cores are, I think, steel. And these ones are iron, but they're both originals. I know that much. I'm not sure why they're different. I do know they made both when they first came out. Now I think all of them are steel, but they did make steel and iron in the first gen. Alright, so I'm going to run this. Like I said, all I changed out was the springs. I have the original springs and the armature bar if you guys want them. I'll send them in the box when I sell them. These ones are Ringmaster 16 gauge front and rear, which just ended up working the best. Medium weight and medium length armature bar. It's not light, but it's not heavy. It's in between. An 832 contact screw, solid brass. It's not plated, it's solid. The original capacitor, I changed the wraps. See, I added the phono jack adapter onto it, which is a quarter, which I'm going to change it. I'll show you guys in a minute what I'm going to change it to. But I'll run this. This is at 7 volts. Around 108, 110 hertz, 67% duty at 7 volts. It's an all-purpose shader. I have used this quite a bit lately. I kind of don't want to let it go, but there's kind of some bad memories behind these machines. The guy I got them from, I have bad blood with now. I don't know if I told you guys, I got a second job at a local shop and it didn't end up working out, and that's where I got these, and the guy's just kind of a dick. So I decided to sell them. And then this is the liner. It also has 10 wrap coils. All Unimax machines, especially the originals, come with 10 wrap coils. These ones didn't have any wrapping on it when I got it, so instead of putting shrink wrap, I put all new coil wire wrapping or shrink wrap. It's all blue wire with the yellow over the capacitor. which I can change if whoever buys it wants. New springs. I cut the back spring. The front spring is 20 gauge. They're both 20 gauge. A thicker 20 gauge in the back, a wide one. 832 contact screws. All 832 parts. Everything. All matching sizes. It's original except for the front, which is 632. It's the same on the other one. This one, it has RCA on the back, which I'm going to switch the shader to, because that most people use RCA or standard. This can take both. You can see it still has the binding post, so you can use a regular clip cord. It has the RCA adapter, which I'll show you how I made this RCA, which is probably my favorite way of making it now. Is the same lugs that I use for my standard clip cords. Basically what I do is I take this screw out and then I drill it all the way through. I drill a hole right in the bottom. And then I would take this, see, you take this bolt off, it's kind of hard to do it one-handed, and you see how it has threads? I threaded it, and then I screwed this in. So it was like that. And then I solder wire to one end, and the wire goes to the top screw on the saddle post. It's all shrink wrapped. And then once it's in there, I solder around the edges to make sure it stays tight. And then basically, one positive, which is just regular wire lug, and then the other side, the other connector, which is touching the threads, which would be the outside, solid copper. It's the same way you would hook up any other RCA basically, and that goes to this binding post. Which you can also, this one I didn't solder, you can screw it in more. I just had it out on this one. I had to unscrew it because there's this bar in the way here, so the wire would bump into it. So I'll show you guys. You can see the wire coming out of the end. The RCA screws right in, nice and tight. Solid copper connector, so there's no loss of power. It's better than using the pure nickel quarters that I use. Nothing's better than pure copper. Worked out pretty well. Also on this is a custom armature bar. You can see all the holes drilled in it. There's a hole right in the front. There's a hole drilled halfway through, so you don't see a hole in the bottom, so you're not going to wear your coil core abnormally. It's divoted like an hourglass, and there's holes drilled all the way back, and it's notched in the front to make it a lot lighter, so it'll run faster. Like a lot of liners would have a lighter armature bar. I'll run this for you. At 7 volts, 69% duty, 142 cycles per second. And obviously it can be tuned how you want, and also with this one I have the original armature bar and springs. I changed them because this is an old machine, and the guy who still has his name engraved into it, Crazy Joe, used the fuck out of these machines. I actually had to file the top of the coil core to get it straight again because it was angled. Been used so much, and he just never re-shimmed it like you should. But the coils, or the armature bar has a hole worn right in it from the coil core. The springs had holes burnt right through the top of the springs, and I was still using it until the actual tip of the spring snapped off. I also had to replace the capacitor on this one. This one is 47, no wait, this is also a 33 UF, it's a bigger one. And then this is the original ones that they come with. It was burnt out on this one. So I'll run it again. You see the RCA connection doesn't slip. And the way it's angled, it keeps it off your hand. Sorry, the nut's coming loose. All standard parts, threads, 832, except for the front tube price. That's how it came. Like I said, everything you see here is original, except for the coil wraps, the armature bar, and the spring, but it will come with all original parts. And I'll run the shader again for you guys. See, it lays nice and flat. This one's got the phono adapter, but that's why I got these parts out. I'm going to make another RCA, just because whoever buys them is more likely to have RCA than phono jack. I'm the only person I know that uses phono jack. Well, online, everybody in our shop uses them now. I made adapters for everybody. So if you guys are interested in buying them, awesome machines. It's a short stroke liner, but it can be tuned to be a long stroke if you want. You know, these will work. They both work very well. These are tuned to how I would use them, but every artist has a preference, and you might want to retune them a little bit. And you see a little sparking on the, see it right there. That's not a problem with the capacitor, the coils, like anybody's going to say. It's actually because the front spring on it is brand new. And these springs, all springs have like an oil coating on them. And until you actually wear the spring down a little bit, like wear that off, you can see the hole. Well, it's not a hole, it's just you can see right through to the metal instead of the finish. Like this one does not spark, because I already wore it through. I always run them a little bit before I send them out to make sure they're tuned. You know, they are obviously used, but they got new springs on them now. You know, and just in case you guys are nervous about that, I will send you another capacitor, because capacitors are what usually causes it to spark. If your spring's worn, you already wore the little coating off under the contact screw and it's still sparking, it's the capacitor. I will send a couple extra in the box just to reassure you guys. And I also will give a lifetime warranty on these. I put it in paper. Anything besides normal wear and tear. Like if the capacitor blows, I fix it. If the coils go to shit, I'll fix it. If for some reason the spring just snaps, I'll fix it. A lot of. They're not going to be original parts, obviously, because I can't get any more first gen parts, but they will be legitimate Unimax parts. That's it, guys. I'm out. I'm going to load this video up for you guys. I have a few other videos that I made. I just never loaded. I apologize. That's it. These are going up for sale. If anybody's interested, please let me know, because I haven't listed them. I think I was going to do it through Craigslist and on eBay. I doubt they'll even get to eBay, because I've already had a few people that were interested in them. So if you guys want to know how much they are, get in contact with me and we can figure it all out. Alright guys, that's it.